Hey there Guardians, TBL here, and I wanted to make a really quick video for you guys out there because a lot of people have been asking me, hey TBL, what's your Warlock Sunsinger Crucible setup? You know, what skills and abilities do you use on your gameplays? And I figured, I can go ahead and make a really quick video showing you guys that. And so let's go ahead and dive on in. Now I actually have a couple of Crucible setups, but I really bounce mainly between two. At least when it comes to my Sunsinger Warlock, and they're both basically offensive Sunsingers. They're set up in a way that I can pop Radiance and really run into a room full of enemies and take everybody out. I mean, you guys know I'm a rushdown style player, and it really works for me. So set number one is the one you guys are seeing right here, and it's primarily focused around the Ram exotic and really high defense. Now, of course, some of you guys might be saying, but TBL, the Ram is a Voidwalker exotic, and you'd be mostly correct about that. As you can see here, the Ram special ability grants you increased armor, and it allows your melee attacks as a Voidwalker to trigger lifesteal every time you use them. It's super fantastic for that. But for this set, we're mostly focused on that first part, increased armor, since it becomes a native defensive buff to your Warlock whenever you have this ability equipped. Having this ability grants you a natural 20% damage reduction, which stacks with both the Sunsinger's Radiance and Radiant Skin abilities. It is perfectly suited for Sunsingers, and when you mix it with a max armor stat plus something like Radiant Skin, you literally become a juggernaut. But alright, moving on from there, the Ram does have a split intellect and strength roll, so you're going to see that reflected in my stat allocations here. As you'll see here, my set rocks 100% intellect, 31% discipline, and 75% strength. Now, this isn't exactly ideal. Generally for Warlocks, you want to run with max intellect and as high of a discipline stat as you can get. If you can get max intellect and max discipline, that's fantastic, so you'll have your super all the time and you'll have constantly respawning grenades. But with this particular Ram set, the best I could get was 100% intellect and a really high strength stat. And for the most part it works, since having that really high strength stat means I get my flame shield back way more often than I should. And remember, when you pop Radiance, your Scorch becomes a one-hit kill. So I definitely get my use out of that. Now, most of my armor abilities are centered around these stats themselves. I've got a couple of melee boosting skills, and of course the boots for heavy ammo buffs and whatnot. There's nothing really too special there. But now we're going to take a look at the really important stuff, the bread and butter of this set, and that is, of course, the abilities that we have set up. Now, first things first, you're going to notice that I rock full armor, full recovery, and nothing else on my Sunsinger. And generally, it's because I don't find agility to be that helpful on my Sunsinger. I'd rather have the extra armor, which essentially accounts to extra health, and the faster recovery time. And you'll see that reflected in my training skills. Having that extra health can really help you in a tight spot. But alright, taking a look at the first tree there for grenades, as you can see, I'm rocking Firebolt. Firebolt is such an amazing grenade for PvP. It's a fast tracking grenade that can hit around corners, and it hits really hard. Generally, I bounce between that and fusion grenades. Fusion grenades for the cheesy sticky bomb one-hit kills, and Firebolt grenades really for more utility whenever I'm trying to hit people around corners and whatnot. And plus, when you mix Firebolt with something like Touch of Flame, it just becomes way too good. So again, for the first tree, either Firebolt or fusion grenades. For the second tree, you can generally either rock Focus Burst or the Balance Glide. I roll with Focus Burst because it gives me a little bit of extra speed, but really, there it's up to preference. Next up, we've got the Radiance abilities, and as you can see, I rock Radiant Skin with this Ram set because it gives you so much defense. This is one of the most underrated Sunsinger perks out there. It's seriously too good. I also rock Fireborn, but generally only in objective-based game mode, so I can make a surprise flip on, say, control points, or make a rush on the enemies heavy. But generally, when I'm rocking an offensive Sunsinger, it's Radiant Skin all day. Now, Song of Flame is an interesting choice, but it's generally only super helpful if you're in a well-organized team. You call everybody over to you, you pop Song of Flame, and then suddenly they have infinite grenades and melees and even recharge their supers faster. But again, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be using Radiant Skin. Alright, next up we have the melee abilities, and really there's nothing else you should be using as a Sunsinger besides Flame Shield. You get way too much utility out of it, and both Solar Wind and Brimstone are kind of situational. Plus, having that Flame Shield when you're rocking the Ram and Radiant Skin, ooh, nobody can touch you. Alright, moving on to the stat training trees, we of course rock Arcane Spirit and Divine Order. That gives us max armor and max recovery. And then for our next special, I rock Radiant Will because it increases the duration of your Radiance. And while the extra burn that you get with Viking Funeral is cool, I generally prefer to stay in Radiance for a longer amount of time. And finally on the last tree here, as you can see, we are rocking Touch of Flame, which causes all of your grenades to ignite and burn enemies for a short amount of time. This ability mixed together with Firebolt grenades is just way too good. Now you also have Angel of Light here, which really just kind of makes you a floating target, and then the wonderful Gift of the Sun, which is the other thing that I generally switch to, and allows you to essentially store 2 grenades. I generally jump between Touch of Flame and Gift of the Sun based on what set I'm using. You know, if we're rocking the super sweaty Trials of Osiris or Iron Banner, I might rock the Firebolt grenades mixed with Touch of Flame. Elsewise, I might rock, fusion grenades with Void Fang vestments and Gift of the Sun for infinite fusion grenade cheese. You know I'm that guy. But other than that, that's pretty much my Crucible setup for Sunsinger Warlock. At least for this offensive variant, which is very heavy on melee attacks. And because of the extra armor and general tankiness of the set, I can really get up into enemy spawns and just wreak havoc. And now, of course, I have many other Sunsinger sets, like ones that use Heart of the Praxic Fire to turn me into an infinite grenade machine, or even stuff that use the Purifier robes. But 9 times out of 10 on the Crucible gameplays you guys see on this channel, this is the set I'm using. And so, hopefully it gave you guys a better idea of how I play my Crucible games, and maybe it even gave you guys a few ideas for how you can turn your own Sunsinger into an offensive powerhouse. Either way, let me know what you guys' Crucible setups are in the comment section below. I'm thinking I might make another one of these for my Warlock setup, and then maybe even for my Hunter and Titan characters. Possibly even a fave Crucible weapon setup, since we really didn't talk about weapons over the course of this video. Who knows, we'll see. But alright, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.